So I just hit one above all for the second time solo queuing, and on two other accounts where I played healer and tank only, I was top 500 earlier in the season. So I want to give you guys some tips on all the roles, how to rank up, and some general game sense and situational awareness. Without further ado, let's get into it. No matter the situation, I've had hundreds of games where we've had an incredibly hard round, got rolled in the first section, and everyone was negative and ready to give up. And I swear to God, a positive mental is what turns those around, especially in solo queue. A positive mental is 100% what you need in these situations. You will get the worst of the worst teammates who will always try and give up, but even if they do and you end up losing, ever since the new update dropped in Season 2, you will lose significantly less points if you are always performing well and trying. So it's super important that you don't give up, even on the losses, because you'll lose much less. I mean, I've had games where I'll lose only 9 points, while my teammates will end up losing 25 points. And then when I win, I'll gain 30 points, all because of my own performance. And this goes for all roles. I play support, tank, or DPS. All of these roles are tracked based on your own individual performance, so never give up. You can end up losing a lot less or gaining a hell of a lot more. No! No! Is my teammates' reaction to hearing this. I know all of you one-trick ponies just shit your pants, but I'm sorry to break it to you here. You are not climbing, buddy. You're gonna have to fail. There's no way out of this one. If you're a one-trick pony and your character gets banned, what are you gonna do? Give up? Fuck no. You gotta lock the fuck in and learn more than one character. I see all these Spider-Man OTPs on my TikTok For You page, and they're still all the way in GM, can't even get out of GM, go into Celestial, and they wonder why they're losing, constantly blaming their teammates like, oh my god, I killed so many fucking people, how are we losing? And their whole team is getting analed in the front line. It's always good to have basic knowledge of multiple characters. Everyone has their own natural picks that they're good on, but forcing your team to play around your comp when you get hard countered is the dumbest thing you can do. If you can swap to a support to counter something, it's better than losing because you won't drop your ego, you little baby. Also, use the mute button if someone is smack talking and annoying. Mute them. Don't get tilted. Smack talking is not the way. But if someone talks shit to you, I'm not saying don't defend yourself. Just still try and focus on the game. Don't entirely divert your attention into that person. Space, space, space. It's all about space, space, space! Space has to be one of the most important things you can take in this game. Without space, you have nothing. To be perfectly clear, space is where the other team isn't. You create space by forcing healers to look at you or by pushing forward after you win a team fight. This is so important to your gameplay. Occupying a space means that the other team cannot regroup or recontest. It also leads into stagger picks. Staggering is when you catch someone off guard after a point fight and get a free pick. That gives you momentum and they cannot recontest at all. It is super important for those stagger picks that will secure pushes and minimalize entire team fights where ultimates on your side and on the enemy side are used. Staggers are so vital to this game. They happen all the time in points you don't even realize. If you're playing tank and you're noticing your DPS is in there, he's in that back line, even though he's not killing those two healers, it is your job to push in because those other tanks are not going to be able to react in time and they're going to get destroyed. They're getting no heals and they're going to blame their healers because they don't know what's going on in the game. Even better, if your DPS kills the healers, full push. There's no need to hold back anymore. Your healers are up, their healers aren't. Healers are the key piece in all of these fights to keeping everyone alive. And if they can't be alive, then neither is their team.
I played so good this game. I got 50,000 healing and 20 assists. I'll surely be top 500 in no time, right?
Wrong! You couldn't be more wrong. The only reason that these stats even exist in the first place is to give you some semblance of an idea of how you played during that game. These stats, for the most part, do not mean anything. They do not mean jack shit. They are completely visual lies that people tell themselves in order to make themselves feel better about their bad performance. When you have a lot of healing or when you have a lot of damage, it doesn't mean anything. That damage can be from spamming down a choke or sitting on your ass doing absolutely nothing. If you have no final blows, if you have like 20 deaths, that matters a hell of a lot more than those pointless numbers you see at the end of the game. The individual stats that you have do not show your team impact throughout the game. For example, if I could be playing Captain America and be permanently contesting the enemy team's backline, getting 0 kills, but they are all forced to turn and deal with me, and my team still loses main because they're getting destroyed by a singular Bucky or a singular Hawkeye, that is not your fault that you lost that game, even though your stats will probably be bad. In those scenarios, you have to fill. I know it sounds stupid, but maybe, just maybe, you being the extra difference in main will help, even though your teammates are so trash they still can't win it anyway. It sometimes works, and then you end up winning main and winning all the team fights regardless. DPS. DPS is one of, if not the most important role in the game. You can either create space or take massive advantage of it for free picks for your team. A great example is Spider-Man. Spider-Man, similar to Captain America, can force the enemy team to turn around and the healers have to contest him, so your team can collapse on the other team in the front line and brawl without the enemy healers existing for an easy win. But if you're playing Spider-Man and making space and your front line is still losing, it's the same scenario as Cap. You gotta swap, buddy. Get off Spider-Man or get off a dive character if your front line's getting rolled. This also goes for DPS players. Try to learn multiple different characters that are good in each scenario, like dive, brawl, healing, because it's important to know all of these. If you're just gonna play DPS, you might as well learn a large majority of the DPSs so you can accurately utilize the role to its maximum potential. Live in the walls, use blind spots, abuse healers LOS where they can't see. If you are playing any character that is dive, don't ever let the enemy support see you until you are inside of their cranium. And also, do not be afraid to be in the fight for a brawl. It is never a bad thing, unless you're playing Spider-Man. He has like no brawl potential. But it is never a bad thing to be in the brawl if you are playing dive or the enemy team support ultimates. Whenever they ult and your team ults at the same time, both of your supports, you need to be in that fight. You are going to get your ults so fast. I will use my ultimate before an enemy support ult and it will run out and my support will pop at the same time. I will literally get my ult back in that exact same fight because of that immortality and because of how much damage you can farm through it. Always try and pop your ult after the enemy team support ult, not before, but it's also not as bad as forcing out a support ult with your own ult, because then your team supports just have to outlast that ult and then use your own ults and win. As a tank, you need to peel, create space, take advantage of space, acknowledge your healers, flankers, positioning of your healers, health of your healers, who's diving your healers, have really good game sense of ult charge, and pretty much everything to do with the game in general. When your heals are calling out for peels or getting dove, you need to be there. You are that difference. You can peel and you can push. You're the entry and the anchor. Your ultimates should be the thing to force out enemy support support ults, or even one-shot them out of the support ult if you're playing like Magneto, or even Doctor Strange with a Mantis damage boost. Sometimes it's good to act as a damage sponge to help your supports build their ults faster to the enemy, so it's super important that you play around corners when you do this, and your supports are in lock with you in VC, because otherwise you're going to end up getting caught out and dying really easily, because you're a big, fat target. If I'm playing like Dang or Groot, I want to force the enemy team into my wall, where my walls can hit them, or my punch can hit the largest AoE, or it makes damage way easier for my DPS to get free value, because they can literally just spam down the choke, and your healers can easily get free value and heals by spamming down the choke. Take the space that they leave after the fight, so your DPS and your healers can push up and play off of it, especially on convoy maps.
Man, I'm getting dove so much as support. If only there was a way I could let my teammates know instead of insulting them in the match chat after every round. I got an idea.
Use your microphone. A mic is absolutely integral to this role. You need to have awareness, coordination, and tracking with your heals on your teammates. This is definitely the least mechanically demanding role, but you need to pay attention. In my personal opinion, the hardest thing about this role, when I solo queued with it, is not falling asleep. Seriously though, if you don't have your microphone on and you're getting permanently dove in the backline, your teammates are just going to assume you're complete trash. They're not going to automatically peel for you. You have to give that calm. And when I solo queued through to Celestial with my support only account, I noticed that significantly whenever I calmed or whenever I turned on my mic, the games were 10 times easier and we were steamrolling the enemy team. This role is all about team coordination. Seriously, it's all about having your own ultimate after the enemy support ult. Don't ever pop first unless like it's forced out by another DPS ult and you, in that case, you have to ult before your whole team dies. Holding your ultimate as long as possible is so integral to this role carrying. If you don't do that, you're screwed, because if you don't hold your support ult and the enemy team holds their support ult, you're going to get rolled because their immortality is going to last an extra 4 seconds compared to your only 6 seconds of immortality. And believe me, that makes such a massive difference. You will all end up dead because of that 1 extra second of immortality. Comms are so important because of like damage mantis boosts, or Luna swapping to her damage, calming that when DPS are engaging, and calming with your DPS. Like, here's a great example. I can't kill Invisible Woman in this clip because she's getting full healed by Rocket, and she has heals on herself, and they're healing each other. Even though I'm ulting, she can't kill because they're healing each other. Healers are so strong in this game if you use your mic and you calm with your team. There is zero excuse for anybody playing any role to not be able to climb soloing. You do not need a team. You do not need anybody. You only need yourself and your own skill and your own voice. That is the most important thing, and you have to keep it with you. Always calm, always speak, always flex, always swap, and you will climb. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate if you would like it and subscribe. And I stream all of these games live on Twitch, where I did my healer only, tank only, and now my DPS on my main to top 500. Well, top 100 actually, but yeah. If you guys want a more in-depth guide of specific characters like magic, I'm extremely experienced on them, so feel free to leave a comment below asking me something specific I can do a guide on.